Hi there, everyone. Game Time, presented by State Farm, is on the air from Atlanta. I'm Matt Weiner. Great to see you out there. Here with Rex Chapman and Stan Van Gundy, a reunion of the 1995-1996 Miami Heat. We'll have more on that a little later. Also, Shaq talks about his other life as a DJ. In the meantime, we're spinning highlights. Game 2 of Paul George's new life as a Clipper with the Hawks in town. There he is.
What is that?
I don't know.
Plaid.
Do you think I could pull that off?
No.
Like Garanimal.
It's a lot of plaid. That's what that is. He had 33 in his Clippers debut on Thursday and picked up right where he left off, although he said he wasn't very good Thursday.
No, he said it was ugly, he thought.
Yeah.
But my gosh, I don't know I don't know that I've seen a guy come off of surgery, not spend much time with his teammates in live practices and come back more on fire than this guy is.
We should all play so ugly, right?
Yes.
How long do you think it'll take him to find his rhythm?
Yeah.
A few more games?
Look out when that happens.
He looks quick, lean. Man, I'm excited to watch this Clippers team.
And attacking the basket
Yes.
without fear.
Yes.
You know, you sort of worry about how that's going to be when you've had shoulder surgery.
Bullet pass to JaMychal Green. Gets it back for the three. How about a little defense from PG? Made his name as an elite two-way player. Trae Young, never saw him coming.
Give me that. And then you got to love this. Oh, give the sugar up to the big man running the floor. What a nice play by Paul.
That's how you make friends with your new teammates, impress your new owner. Steve Ballmer is serene at that point. He just all clapped out.
He's thinking about Kawhi. He's thinking about what this can be.
Well, because his team won by 49. They put up 150 points. That's 2 off the franchise record. They win it by a lot. And the Hawks will wrap up their 5-game Western Conference trip on Sunday in the same building against the L.A. Lakers. PG, 70 points, back-to-back 30-point games. First Clipper to do that in his first 2 in L.A., and here he was after the game.
I couldn't wait to get in front of this crowd. I couldn't wait to be home, play at home. I can get used to this.
In your first outing, you actually said you thought you played terrible after 33 points on 17 shots. You put up 37. That's 70 points through 2 games. Can you give yourself a better evaluation tonight?
I thought I was better. I thought, I had a better flow. My body felt better. My legs felt better. I was actually able to just move. I thought the first game, everything was so fast-paced and it was coming at me quick. Whereas this game, I felt conditioned. I felt ready coming into it. And, my guys helped me along the way.
Paul George is obviously not going to score 30-plus every time he's out there, but this is an unbelievable start for him in Clipper red, white, and blue. What can he mean to this franchise?
Well, maybe he can. Maybe he just needs to play every game in L.A. He scores 30 for L.A. every time he suits up for him, right,
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, thank you. No, I think it's going to be exciting. It's what we talked earlier. Stan was saying, once you get Paul, Kawhi, and Pat Bev on this team, forget about the offense. That defense can be smothering, right?
Absolutely. And look, you've got the 2 best two-way wings in the league on the same team. And then Pat Beverly, we know, is a great defender and an irritant to opponents.
Yeah.
That's not going to be a fun team to play against. And then we know what the Lakers are doing defensively. So like in Atlanta, back-to-back in L.A., not a lot of fun anymore.
No. We always talk about growing pains in chemistry when these stars come together in a new city. What will Kawhi Leonard and Paul George and their teammates have to learn about playing together?
Yeah, that'll take time. It will. We see the Lakers going through it now with Anthony Davis. Just like we said with injuries, what gets you through that while you have time to build is your defense. The Lakers are already the number 1 defense in the league. The Clippers, I think, can battle them for that when they get all these guys back. That gives you your margin for error in games, that defense, while the chemistry is building, because it'll take time.
Paul and Kawhi have both played as the second best player on their team, the third best, the fourth best, and now, but they both can be the number 1 guy, I think. And the fact that you saw Paul these last couple years playing alongside Russell, he can take a back seat. He's not ego like that. So I think it can work really well.
The defense is baked in just because of the players on the roster, and the offensive options with those 2 guys at the end of games was a lot to think about if you're an opponent in a playoff series, that's for sure. Paul George is the first player with 30-plus in his first 2 games with a new franchise since James Harden, who is in 2019 putting up historically significant scoring numbers so far. Only Wilt has scored more through a dozen games. That's Wilt Chamberlain. And Harden's 161 free throws so far is more than anyone has hit at this point in a season. Second night of a back-to-back for the Rockets. They hit Minnesota, and those neon green uniforms are theirs. James Harden apparently not distracted because he went right back to work.
I think that was part of the strategy. They thought maybe they could blind him.
Not affected at all.
No.
None whatsoever. Certainly didn't affect his shots per minute.
No. He had 18 points in the first quarter and finished with 30 at halftime. Playing without Russell Westbrook, sitting out the second night of a back-to-back. Eric Gordon still out, Clint Capella out with a concussion. Minnesota without Andrew Wiggins out for personal reasons. Karl Anthony Towns trying to pick up the slack, and then it's Jeff Teague to Towns, who went for 27 and 15. Minnesota up by 3 at that point in the game. Rockets come back and outscore the Timberwolves by 18 in the second half. Harden.
Come on.
What do you do?
No, well, if you're going to play him one-on-one, there's nothing you can do. It's make or miss.
Mesmerizing defenders.
Yes.
They're just standing and watching.
And his handle's so clean. There's no mishandle of the ball. It's just pure beauty right now.
Just 49.
Is that all?
Yeah, 49.
They had a disappointing second half, though. After 30 in the first half, they held him to 19.
Houston's won 7 straight. Harden hit 16 of his career-high 41 shots. That's the second most in Houston Rockets history. He now has 7 40-point games on the young season already.
You know, we got 6-7 guys out, so it could have been an easy game where we just like chalked it up and you know, got ready for next game. Like we wanted to come here and win this game, and we showed it.
How deep and strong this NBA league is right now, and especially in the West, how important is it to get these wins?
Yeah, very, very important. You know, we can't take any game for granted, and we showed that tonight. I think that first half we gave up too many points. Second half we locked back in, and they barely got over 100 points. So that's pretty much the goal every single game. And you know, guys didn't look around. We manned up and got a win.
You know, come playoff time, you need all your guys, right? But at this point, with all these folks missing, he's still putting up these kinds of numbers. This was his 72nd career game with 40 points and 5 assists. That ties Oscar Robertson for second all-time. Only Michael Jordan has more. And the point I was going to get to is that in the regular season, when you maybe don't have time to scout the way you would, this system, with that player running it, it almost doesn't matter who else is on the floor with him. He's putting up these kinds of numbers.
And he will continue to, because they're going to have the ball in his hands all the time. He plays every night. He plays big minutes. They're going to keep riding this. And so now teams are going to have to decide, are we going to let him get his and hope it's not enough? Or are we going to try to do something to take the ball out of this guy's hands? I think we're going to start to see more teams doing it for longer periods of time in the game, not letting him stand out there and do his dance on those isolations, but come and run at him and say, you know what, I'll take my chances 4-on-3 with the other guys. I've seen what he can do.
You know, I think back, Allen Iverson with that Sixers team years ago when it was all they had really offensively. James, right now, he's carrying much of this load. What I find fascinating is teammates loved playing with both of those guys. You might look and you go, well, is that a little selfish? Is he shooting? No, they don't think that. They're very good teammates. They come to play every single night. You know what you're going to get, and they're really easy teammates to trust.
No question about that. I mean, you see the production too. Hey, it's one thing if you're taking a lot of shots and you're not that good.
Right.
All right. They know who James Harden is. And you know what? These guys are smart enough to say, you know what? Coach D'Antoni's right. That's our best option.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, you mentioned the endurance, and I think that gets overlooked a little bit. He plays for the most part every night of the season, and it takes a lot of energy to get up 41 shots and be the focal point of an offense to the extent that he is. How hard is that to pull off on a nightly basis?
I wouldn't know, but no,
It's a fair answer.
Yeah,
most people wouldn't.
Right, but I do find it fascinating. He does. He plays every night, but he plays at such a deliberate pace. You can't speed him up. You can't slow him down. He's going to play exactly how fast he wants to play.
Just a phenomenal offensive force in the NBA. James Harden, another big night. Houston wins again. The rest of the night is on the way, including Luka the Don doing his thing against the champs in Dallas. Plus, Shaq stories, including how he spent part of his summer in the mosh pit. You know what they say, defense travels, and for the defending world champs, it's traveled in style out west as the Raptors have held LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, and Damian Lillard to a combined 9 of 38 from the field, all with season lows in terms of points against the Raptors. They hit Dallas on Saturday night, which means they're going after Luka Doncic and the Mavs, the number 2 rated offense in the NBA. Luka to Seth Curry, locked and loaded for 3. Luka past Pascal Siakam for the floater. 26 points, 15 boards, 7 assists. More on him in a moment. Siakam, there's that defense. Setting up Norman Powell. And then Siakam flying in for the block.
Oh, what a great effort there.
Layup on the other end for Siakam.
Oh, what a nice pass by Freddie VanVleet.
Who had 15 points and 7 assists. Toronto up by 7 at halftime. Third quarter, Kristaps Porzingis out of the post.
Nice little pivot there for the shot. Good footwork.
Dorian Finney-Smith to KP, who had 20 on the night. Toronto turns it over. Dallas is out and running. DeLon Wright ahead of the pack.
Great hustle by Porzingis, diving on the floor, sacrificing his body, making winning basketball plays.
Raptors hanging in. Fred VanVleet knocks down the 3. Then off the turnover, it's Norman Powell. They're within 2. Luka.
It's Luka time.
Oh! Slow walking.
The slowest step to set up the floater. Beautifully done. Dallas hangs on to win it 110 to 102. The Raptors wrap up their 5-game trip 3-2. They'll be home Monday against the Charlotte Hornets as they shoot 37%. For Dallas, they moved to 7-5 on the season. After the game, Seth Curry told us how much better this version of the Mavs is than the one he played for 3 years ago.
It's a completely different team. Obviously got 2 different centerpieces in Luka and KP, much younger team, and running a different system. So I had to come in trying to get integrated into a whole different system, but we're learning on the fly and trying to get up to a good start this season.
Seth, it's your boy Rex.
What's going on?
Hey, man, what's it like having so many non-shooting bums in your family?
Man, it's rough. It's rough, man. You can never find a good horse game.
Man, how you doing? I'm so proud of you. And tonight, what was it like getting in there, getting a rhythm, 15 big points off the bench?
It was good. It was good, man. First of all, Luka draws a lot of attention on offense. So when we're moving the ball like that, everybody gets involved. We can make it easier on everybody, and we just had to play better, man. We had a couple tough losses this past week where we didn't shoot the ball well. We still didn't shoot the ball well tonight as a team, but we played good offense and good defense for the most part and beat a good Raptors team.
What has really been the point of emphasis over this last week trying to get out of this 2-game losing streak?
Defense, man. Defense. That's what it's about. We got a deep offensive team that can do a lot of different things. But when we get stops like we do tonight, we had 3 really good defensive quarters, and when we do that, we can beat anybody. So it's about locking down defense and rebounding the ball, and then getting out and doing what we do on offense.
That'll certainly be a key for you guys moving forward. But you do have the number 2 offense in the NBA right now in terms of efficiency. What's been the key to making that machine go?
Obviously, we got a lot of talent from 1 to 15. We got a lot of talent that can shoot the ball, drive the ball, make plays, and we got a lot of space with KP and our bigs who shoot it. But Luka's doing his thing all over the floor. He draws a lot of attention, has the ball a lot, and makes a lot of good decisions. So when we start making our 3-point shots at the rate we normally do, we'll be a lot better on offense. So we got a lot of room to improve, even though we start off well.
In case you didn't pick up on it, Rex has known the Currys for a very long time, having played with Dell back in Charlotte in the day. That's why he's messing with Seth a little bit there.
Yeah, he used to change his
Not
diapers.
everybody knows that. So.
Literally used to change his diapers. So there you go. That's all.
Okay.
I got nothing else.
All right, that's fair. He mentioned Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis, but Doncic is really the catalyst for this offense, averaging, rounding up, 29, 10, and 9 right now. What makes him so well-equipped to be the guy with the ball in his hands?
He's got such a great awareness, and he's such a great decision maker. He's one of those guys, a lot like LeBron and some of the other great players. He's a step ahead. He knows where the ball is going before he even makes a play. Watch here. They come off the steal. He goes on the break. Luka knows right now where he's going with this ball. Look at his head. It's turned. Sees him in the corner. Wide open, sets it up. Now gets the guy open. Here he comes up. Watch him look him off. He looked at Porzingis, kicks the ball here. Now he's going to get it back off the offensive rebound. Let me see if I can create another shot. He gets in the lane. You again see his head turn. He sees Seth Curry over here. Boom. Pass on target. Two guys fighting for the ball right there. Seth got it, knocked it in.
Right here, coming off late, gets into the paint, head turned, draws all the defenders. And how about this pass, Coach? I mean, just drops it off. Spoon feeding is big. And then late in the game, all Luka time, puts him in the spin cycle, slow walks him.
Yep.
What great balance he has. He's always, for a guy that's 6'8", Dame Lillard, to me, has perfect balance for a basketball player. For a guy 6'8", Luka Doncic has really, really good balance. And his ability, we talked earlier tonight, his ability to stop. He's got great breaks. His ability to decelerate just keeps people on their heels all the time. What a nightmare to guard.
People will say he's not athletic.
Shoot.
But he's a great athlete.
Great athlete.
He's not an explosive athlete,
Right.
but he's a great athlete.
And his vision. Oh.
All right, let's check out the Trailblazers starting a long road trip in San Antonio. LaMarcus Aldridge taking on his old club. Dame in the house. C.J. McCollum starting to round into form, it looks like.
Got off to a little bit of a slow start this year, but starting to see that ball go in the basket. He looks lean and ready to go now.
He had the feeling. C.J. goes for 32, 6 boards and 7 assists. Portland up by 8 at halftime. Greg Popovich out for the second half, but not for very long. Didn't like this call on Derek White against Damian Lillard. And he's gone.
Love it. I love riled up Pop.
Well, you'll hear from him in a moment. Riled up Pop. San Antonio responds with Tim Duncan, by the way, leading from the sideline. He got the coaching call. DeMar DeRozan. DeRozan, no. Aldridge is there on the spot. 30 on the night for him to go with 13 boards. And the lead is 2 for Portland. Rudy Gay with a steal.
Rudy Gay in the passing lane.
This is an 18-3 Spurs run.
Young.
And the Silver and Black are up by 11 at that point. But the Blazers had answers. McCollum to Hassan Whiteside and 1. McCollum misses but gets his own.
Oh, bully ball.
Wow.
Bully ball.
We're tied up at 111. They ISO and go to Rodney Hood on the wing.
That's showing some real confidence to go to Rodney Hood when you got Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum.
And when you need a win, this team's been struggling. That was a 10-0 run. DeRozan to the rim, blocked by Hassan Whiteside, then called for a loose ball foul on the back end of that play, which was eventually challenged. It was a mess and overturned, and we played on. Portland wins the game 121-116. This is the first of a 6-game road trip. It starts off on the right way as they were plus 11 in the fourth quarter. Spurs have now lost 5 in a row, 7 of their last 8. Here's a fairly salty Greg Popovich afterward.
What was the coaching dynamic after your ejection?
I don't have any idea what that means.
Who was the head? Who was handling?
Jimmy was.
Okay. Did Becky? It would have been a chance for her to make history tonight. Was that ever a consideration? Or
I'm not here to make history.
Well, he's not this season. He's not here to make history. As you pointed out earlier, he's made plenty of history during his time in San Antonio.
He spent 2 decades making history there in San Antonio.
But this is their worst start since his first season on the job. That was 22 years ago, and they've blown double-digit leads, in fact, 15 or more in back-to-back nights. What is going on with the Spurs team?
Well, it's been the same thing last year and this year. They were able to overcome it last year a little bit. They're struggling to stop people. I know that sounds strange for a San Antonio team. That's why I think one of the things he had said earlier is he was really happy with their physicality tonight. I think he was talking a lot about their defense. He knows they need to compete harder at that end, and he saw some progress in that area tonight.
It's the first full season without the big three. Tim.
Any of the big three.
Any of the big three. Yeah, first full season. And they've had an unbelievable run, may still be having that run, just in a lull right now. But it's going to be tough digging out of this hole, I think.
As for the Blazers, Carmelo Anthony has reportedly signed now with the team, and we expect to see him sometime soon. We will see the Blazers on back-to-back nights here on NBA TV. All signs point to Tuesday night being his most likely night for a debut as they take on the Pelicans in New Orleans. And, of course, Game Time will have all the scores and highlights. Much more coming up here on this edition of Game Time, including the Greek Freak taking on Indy. It came out on NBA.com Friday, as it does every week, and last year's MVP is sitting on the highest rung again here in November. Look at Pascal Siakam slipping into the top 5 there. There's Giannis Antetokounmpo, the man of which I speak. In the Bucks, off to an 8-3 start. Welcome back Miles Turner to the lineup for the Pacers. Missed 8 games with an ankle injury. So he goes to the Dirk Nowitzki 1-foot fadeaway.
A one-footed runner going backwards.
Pretty good. He had 16 on the night. Giannis Antetokounmpo.
How did he dunk that?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's crazy.
Well, because he has, 9-foot arms,
Wow.
and he's 7'8".
he just unfolds at the rim.
And that.
And then again.
It's the block on the other end.
And he dunks this one.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah, he
come
does.
on, guys.
After the
this
Euro
is not
step.
something we've seen before.
In transition, you just got to wrap him up
Yes.
and send him to the free throw line.
Milwaukee up by 15. Second half, more of the same. The spin and the layup. Giannis knocking down the 3 here. He hit 3 of 6 from out there. 13th career game with 3 or more threes made. Eric Bledsoe, sure.
There's a Wildcat.
Where'd he go to school?
There's
Thank
a
you,
Wildcat.
Stan. Thank you, buddy.
There's Wildcats all over there.
Stan, you don't need to help him. He's going to do that anyway.
Don't encourage.
No, don't encourage him. Bucks get the win at their 3rd in a row. They've won 7 of 8. Maybe their best defensive game of the year so far. Season low 83 points allowed. Season low 32% shooting allowed. And by the way, they did not see their old pal Malcolm Brogdon in the game. Lower back kept him out. It would have been his first time around as an opponent of Milwaukee. The Nets wrapped up their 5-game road trip Saturday night in Chicago. Brooklyn dragging a 3-game losing streak to the gym, losing those 3 by an average of 13 a game. And they were without Kyrie Irving as they took on Zach LaVine and the Bulls in Chicago. Irving out with a shoulder injury. Joe Harris was in, and he can still shoot it. Shoulder just fine, thanks. Harris driving and finding Jared Allen. He's playmaking now.
Really good night for Joe. 8 dimes on the night. Got a lot of confidence this past summer playing with Team USA.
Harris had 11 in the first quarter. Kobe White knocks down the 3, and then Kobe White flying in coast to coast. 7 points for the Rook. Here's LaVine. Working on Harris, spinning him around. Chicago with a 6-point halftime lead. On to the 4th now. Spencer Dinwiddie had the feeling.
Yes, he did. 20 in the 4th.
20 of
Get
his
it going.
24 in the 4th.
Joe, bully ball. Just bullying Ryan Arcidiacono.
And flexing.
Harris finished with 22. Chicago looked like they were dead in the water, and then all of a sudden started hitting shots here late.
Decided to make their threes late in the game.
Yeah, they couldn't make a 3 all game. I think they hit 4 in the last 3 minutes, and all of they got this thing to 2.
Wow. Markkanen, that's a tough shot. And then LaVine down 4. Running out of time. Couldn't get that to go. They were 9 of 39 overall from 3-point range. 30 assists for the Nets. A career high 8 from Harris, as you mentioned. And Brooklyn has won 7 of their last 8 meetings against Chicago. More coming up here on Game Time, including Shaq's summer. It's story time with him, how he became the world's biggest party guest. In the NBA, he was known by many names: Diesel, the Big Aristotle, Superman, just to name three. Nowadays, he's just as well known as DJ Diesel. In this season's first episode of Storytime with Shaq, Ro Parrish talks with Shaq about his DJ career and the music festivals he played this past summer.
You have a house?
Yes.
So you understand land and acreage, right?
Absolutely.
You're all in my acres, brother. See this mark right here? Don't cross this mark.
I won't cross that line. I don't want to be in violation. I won't cross the line.
In the words of Stanley and Friday, please stay out my freaking grass. all this is my house, okay? This is the house. All this is the acres.
All right, shouts out to Miss Parker, too, by the way.
Miss Parker.
Oh, yeah, Ro Parrish on the set, running point. This is my joint. I'm posted up with Big, about to tell you what it is. Before we get started, I like to shine with my rhymes, but his name is Shaq, and it's story time.
That's pretty good.
You like that? 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 You like that?
That was pretty good.
Man, you've been having a great summer all over social media, touring, festivals, concerts, clubs. How did that all get started, man? Because the people don't know. You got to let them know.
Yo, I was on tour, a DJ Diesel World Tour. You know, for me, it's like my Game 7. To see all the kids up there jumping up and down and having a good time. I have to thank you because you taught me a lot about DJing.
Appreciate you.
Been DJing since '88. Being that I got good DJ friends like you and Cat Daddy and Smash Cash, all those guys that give me the great music. Being in the music business, I know how to put stuff together just to make the kids jump up and down.
For the people that didn't see the tour, didn't see the post, describe what your DJ style is and what you bring that's different from everybody else.
I bring honor to the dollar. What I mean by that is, if you're going to pay $50 to see me perform, I got to get your money's worth. Just like in the NBA, I always used to look in the crowd, just see a dad and a son, or a dad and his daughter, or a whole family. I'm like, those people paid a lot of money to come watch me play. I actually learned that from my father. We went to a San Antonio Spurs game one time, and we were sitting up in the nosebleed. It was a terrible game. And he said, man, if you ever make it to this league, all these people pay hard-earned money. Make sure you give them a good show. So mine is hip-hop, dubstep, trap, white boy classics. I'm also a student of this, so I've seen all the top guys, and I see what they do. And I just shacking up what they do a little bit. A
lot of things have changed. You talked about you've been DJing for 20 years. What's the biggest difference from back then to now?
There's a lot of new technology that makes it easier. So while I'm on the plane, I can take sets and put them together, put them on the thumb drive, and be ready to go. Remember that one show we did? They told us we can play anything, and I had to ask to borrow your computer?
Yeah.
So a lot of times DJs have to be flexible, just like in a game. You can come in the game and say, I'm going to go with the power game. But if the refs ain't calling the game that way, you got to switch it up to finesse.
Now, in the past, story times with Shaq, in fact, pull up this clip right now when you go, go in and put in the code to unleash a certain Shaq that comes out. So the preparation, is there a difference prepping for an NBA game as opposed to prepping for a DJ set?
If you practice perfect,
we're talking about practice.
The situation comes out perfect. You got to put sets together. You got to have your cues at the right point. You got to make sure the BPMs are right. So I always practice and prepare. And being there with other DJs is like being at an all-star game. I had a show one time with Aoki, Diplo, Tiesto, some of the great DJs. And I know all of them were looking at me like, okay, this guy thinks he's a DJ. So it's just like when you first come to the league, and in my first all-star game, when I beat out Patrick Ewing, I'm in the locker room, but I could see Mike and Scotty and them guys looking at me like, so, at some point, you always got to, prove yourself. And I don't mind, stepping up to the challenge. We had to start from the bottom. Remember the show we did in San Antonio?
Oh, yeah.
Here's a clip of me and Ro in San Antonio. So, they started from the bottom because I was automatically thrusted into the celebrity DJ category, which is fine. And I just had to work my way up. So now I'm banging them out pretty hard.
Out of all the shows you've done so far going under DJ Diesel, what's the most unique situation? What's the best story?
My new thing is to just, after the show, jumping in the crowd with the kids. And I have a song called Hack and Shack in the Mosh Pit. And I'm giving kids the permission to try to knock me down. So it's me versus 1,000 kids. I haven't failed yet. I like festivals more than clubs. Because at festivals, the kids come to do one thing. I did a festival here in Atlanta at the Motor Speedway for Diplo. Diplo couldn't show up. And the crazy thing is Diplo canceled. And the promoters asked all the kids, well, who do you want to see? And I was unanimous. So I was at the house and they called me and said, man, we need you going at 12. I said, cool. And I ripped that down. You don't have to beep it out. You can just put the little emojis right there. I ripped that thing all the way down.
Well, number one, I got to give you props. Very proud of you as an instructor, in a sense, seeing the students succeed. So we're going to do this thing called Let's Play a Game. It's going to be called Name That DJ. I got a number of NBA players, and I know you're the master of giving nicknames out. So I'm going to name these players, and I want you to give me their DJ nickname.
Okay.
Joel Embiid.
DJ Afrobeat.
James Harden.
DJ FTB.
FTB means?
Fear the Beard.
Hey. LeBron.
DJ Your Highness.
Kawhi.
DJ Silence. You don't say nothing on the mic.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Greek Freak.
It's already said.
Yeah, he just got to play 2 Live Crew music. He got to play freak music all the
Got into a little something this summer.
Actually, I didn't get into anything. It's all about competition.
Right.
So if somebody is offered another show and they say they're better than you got to step your game up.
More game time on the way ahead here. The Hornets breaking hearts on back-to-back nights. Their latest heroics next. At Madison Square Garden for the first of 4 on the road. There's the beleaguered David Fizdale. Coming off a home win against the Dallas Mavericks on Thursday, and they're out and running. The crowd loves it. You can hear them. R.J. Barrett, and then it's Marcus Morris Sr. He hit the big shot Thursday night to beat the Mavericks. Barrett, mid-range, pure.
He's going to be a good player. I like him. He's in a tough spot right now. He's having to do more playmaking than he probably should have to.
Can really
but
score.
He's going to be very good.
Yeah.
Here come the Hornets. Malik Monk hit the game winner on Thursday night. Devontae Graham, remember that name, knocks down the 3. Graham hits another.
This is the one thing Charlotte does best offensively is they shoot the 3. They're one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the league, and it served them well tonight.
Charlotte came back from 15 down to make it close. Here we go. Ooh. Randall flies in and throws it down. 198 now. Randall.
Wow.
Good grief. Where did he go to college?
I have no idea. Knicks up by 4. We're flashing back. Ooh. This was Friday night. Malik Monk at the buzzer to beat the Pistons. Could it happen again? 102-100. Devontae Graham, what a play call. He rattles it home. 2.1 seconds left. Not quite a buzzer beater, but potentially a game winner depending on what the Knicks do. Randall forced to his right. Didn't even get it off. And the Charlotte Hornets, the Cardiac Hornets, get their 17th 3 of the night to make them 4-1 in games decided by 3 or less. A career-high 9 made threes from Graham, who finished with 29 on the night. Afterward, he told Ashley Shaw, Monty, that the comeback began on the other end of the floor.
We got stops. We started locking in on defense. We started knocking down shots. And we just kept, in the huddle, just saying, we got time, keep grinding, and that's what we did.
For you, a career high in threes tonight. What was your mindset? How did you get the momentum to spark that offense going tonight for you?
Well, PJ last night told me I couldn't shoot because I went 2 for 12, so I had to come back tonight and prove him wrong.
I love that. And back-to-back nights, getting back-to-back wins is not easy. How do you keep this momentum going for the rest of this road trip?
We just gotta try to keep it going. You know, we get an off day tomorrow, recoup, get our bodies right, and then, just ride the wave, keep going, watch film, get better, and hopefully get another dub next game.
So PJ has to talk trash for you to shoot like that?
Nah, I need to shoot like that every game. I wish I could, but yeah, it motivated me for sure.
The Hornets deserve an off day after back-to-back games that dramatic. How about the Heat? Off to as impressive a start as anyone so far at 8-3. The banged-up Pelicans in town. Brandon Ingram among those who did not play in this one. And the Heat off and running. Jimmy Butler, 16 points, 13 assists, 8 rebounds. Third quarter, the rookie Kendrick Nunn.
Don't jump.
Oh!
Nicolo Melli knows the name now. How about Tyler Hero?
Uh-oh.
Where'd he go to school?
What?
Miami up by 10. Kenrich Williams to Nickeil Alexander-Walker. He knocks home the 3, and then Etuan Moore with a steal. With the leg.
Etuan.
Tough finish. He had 8.
Looking like a young guy.
Okay. Take this.
I think this guy's always been one of the most underappreciated players in the league, but I've never seen that before.
Pelicans hanging around after trailing by 15. Butler.
Jimmy Butler's taken to this Miami Heat culture like a duck to water. I mean, he really has embraced it, and I love how he's passing the ball.
No question. I think he's embraced trying to help these young guys. He's been more of a playmaker than a scorer, and he's shown the way defensively.
The rookie Nunn with 22 points as the Heat have now won 3 in a row. At 9-3, they've tied the franchise best start through 12 games. Nunn had his 6th 20-point game and his 3rd straight already of this rookie season, and he joined us here on Game Time.
How has the Heat franchise down there and their culture, how has that allowed you to really do and show what you're showing right now?
Just being in this organization under Coach Spoelstra, he gives me a lot of freedom on the offensive end, and he's on me defensively, and guys, they allow me and get me open on screens and things like that. They're allowing me to take those shots. So, I mean, it's a collective effort as well.
But what's the key to your guys' success early? I think people are starting to wake up to you guys. A lot of young guys, a lot of undrafted guys, not just you. I mean, Duncan Robinson, Chris Silva, a lot of young guys. What's the secret to your guys' early season success?
We just have an edge. A lot of guys undrafted. We got a real competitive edge to us, and we're all hungry and want to win and willing to learn and listen. I think that's what makes this group special.
Kendrick, I don't know how much you knew about Nicolo Melli before the night began in terms of your scouting, but the two of you will be linked here by video for a little while because you got to dunk on him tonight. Can you take us through that play?
A little ball screen at the top. They messed up the switch. I got the open lane and finished one.
Oh.
Yeah. A little better way.
Always a good feeling, I imagine.
Yeah, definitely. I love those plays to get the team and the arena hype.
Hey, one more question before we let you go. Obviously, if you're a scorer, you have confidence in yourself, and you said you had expectations for this season. What's been more important to your success and your production here in the first few weeks of the season? Your confidence or the confidence the Heat have shown in you by making you a starter?
Definitely my confidence. It always starts off with the player, and I'm responsible for that, and showing up and competing and performing every night. It's definitely, I've owned that, and I think defensively that's where I stand out at, and that's why our coach trusts me as much as he does.
More ahead here. Vince Carter could have his very own list of poster dunks, but does he own the poster dunk? We'll discuss. Of all time. When you think of poster dunks, what are sort of the criteria for you? What carries more weight for you when you're ranking them?
Well, I only want contested ones.
Okay.
To me, the other ones are like being in a slam dunk contest. And so the quality of the defender that's contesting it makes a big difference to me in the size. So, you know, my favorite was Vince Carter on morning, even though I was on the other bench and didn't enjoy it at the time, because Alonzo will challenge every shot. He was one of the best shot blockers of all time. And this is an unbelievable dunk on him.
You know, as competitive as Alonzo Mourning was and is, he's probably still not loving the fact that this is being played. But he's a pretty good company when it comes to guys who've been dunked on by Vince Carter.
Yeah, and look, the great thing about Zoe, Rex knows, he played with him, is Zoe would go right back up the next time. He understood that if you're going to protect the rim, if you're going to be a shot blocker, you're going to get dunked on some. And he just went up and did it. And I've seen other guys who, if that happened, they wouldn't contest a shot the rest of the night. But that wasn't Alonzo Mourning.
It's part of the job. All right, for you, the poster dunk that stands out in your memory the most?
Well, I go all the way back to when I was a kid, probably 3rd, 4th grade, and the Sixers and the Lakers are playing, and Doc, pre-breakaway rims, Doc gets the steal, and the quality of the defender, Michael Cooper, dunked, just rocked the baby, and Michael had to duck out of the way.
He started to go up, realized he wasn't going to get there, and got out of the way.
Coop was a great defender, but he had no chance of defending that shot.
No.
And then the fact that he rocked it, that made it.
You know the saying, right? Discretion is the better part of valor.
That's right. Also, you directly aided a poster dunk that we pulled.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know if you remember this moment or not.
Am I dunking?
I don't know the year on this. No, you're not. But you played a role. There you are. Whoa! He kind of left Kelly Tripucka hung out to dry.
But what was Kelly
Kelly
doing
made
there?
a terrible
like
business
he went up
decision.
and then he turned his back.
He kind of half jumped and then turned halfway through.
Either contest or get out of the way.
It's like he
But
thought,
come on, Rex, get down and stop the ball.
look.
This guy's not that
I'm
good
getting
a
out
player.
of that play. I know what's happening back there. And then Kelly's like, he forgot he's playing against Michael and forgot he can't jump. And he's still got the curly perm.
That really helps the poster, too.
Yes, it does.
If there is a poster of that dunk, the fact that he's got the perm going at that time
great.
just makes the... Glad you could help out.
Thank you, buddy.
Kelly probably remembers that really fondly. The list coming your way Monday at 5:30 Eastern Time. On the other side, reminiscing. More of it with Rex and Stan. Alluded to the fact that Rex and Stan worked together with the 95-96 Miami Heat, a season that included, look at that hair, by the way, for both of you.
Yeah, I looked young in that picture.
You both look fantastic.
Thanks,
Thank
Matt.
you.
But
Matt, I appreciate that.
not as good as Riles or MJ, but fantastic in your own way.
Gotcha.
That season included Rex's 39-point bucket binge against the Chicago Bulls. It happened on February 23rd of that season. Rex, you were 12 of 17 from the field and outscored Jordan by 8 in a 9-point win.
People thought he was good.
Yeah,
I always thought he was a bit of a bum. But to each their own, right? Oh, take this foul. Yeah, get some.
Oh, you stood him up.
There you go.
Everybody can get some.
No, but what was amazing about this game, Matt, it wasn't just that he got 39. We had traded 5 guys the day before. We only had 8 guys for that game, and one of them, Tony Smith, had just flown in. Like, we had no time with him, and he started at the point. We went with 8 guys that night. That's a 72-win Bulls. 1,500 games or more I was on the bench for.
Wow.
That's my favorite regular season memory.
He took all that time to talk about your game. Thanks for being there, everybody. See you.